Welcome everybody. My name is Tim Sandy. I'm a VMware Systems Engineer. This month's session we're going to do VMworld 2014, the recap, number 2 of 3. The first one was for last month, and that was based on the software-defined data center and the announcements related to that. This month's session is related to end-user computing, or EUC. So let's get started. End-user computing and that space kind of consists of a couple of core offerings. As we see here, the first key area of end-user computing is the virtual desktops. Okay. Then we have the mobile devices that are used for accessing the desktops as well as other content, whether it be applications or anything else like that. Then we have the content collaboration, which is becoming more and more prevalent. Using offerings such as Google Docs and Dropbox, which many of you may be familiar with. And then finally, we have our workspace services, which wraps in social media for corporations as well as identity management for security. Now, as you see, there are only a few players that offer solutions specific to the end-user computing spaces. For desktops, we have Citrix and VMware. For mobile device management, we have AirWatch, Good, and Mobile Iron, some of which you may have heard of. With content collaboration, we have Dropbox, AirWatch, and Box. Most of you are very familiar with Dropbox specifically. And then for workspace services, we also have limited ones as well, and VMware is in all of those spaces. You now see that between VMware and AirWatch, because as most of you know, earlier in the beginning of the year, we announced that we had bought AirWatch. So AirWatch is now a part of VMware. So with AirWatch coming into VMware and bringing in all that they have to offer, between VMware and AirWatch, we cover every single aspect of end-user computing in all the areas of end-user computing. So again, because with VMware buying AirWatch, we are in every one of these end-user computer spaces. In the desktop space, of course, we offer our on-prem solution, which is Horizon View, as well as our cloud-based desktop solution, which is Horizon Air, or DAS, as you know it formally named. We also have some other tools in there to also make management of our virtual desktops better. For the mobile space, AirWatch products gives us a complete mobile device management from end to end, everything relating to mobile device. With content collaboration, Secure Content Locker from AirWatch gives us a secure way to collaborate all of our documentation. SocialCast gives us the corporate-based social networking capabilities. And finally, we have the Workspace portal, which provides a single secure place to get access to all of these other aspects of end-user computing with one single login, and again from a secure manner. So as you can see, that VMware offers a portfolio to cover every aspect of end-user computing that you can think of, and we have all the products to back you up with that. Now, we also announced at VMworld that we now have the Workspace Suite. Don't get this confused with our Workspace portal. The Workspace Suite is simply a bundle of all of our different products relating to end-user computing put together. Again, one single offering as far as the package. It basically includes Horizon 6 Enterprise and everything that comes in that, along with AirWatch and their yellow package. As you see here, we have all the different areas that we've been talking about in the previous slides. We have Horizon 6 for our desktops. We have AirWatch EMM for mobile device management. We have Secure Content Locker, again, for that content secure sharing of information, as well as the Workspace portal and everything that comes with it. And then again, I also included the statement that it includes the Yellow Management Suite from AirWatch. And as you see here, this is a breakout that kind of shows AirWatch's different package offerings as to what is included in it. And as you see here, the yellow, which comes into the Workspace Suite, as well as Horizon 6, gives you everything. So again, end-to-end end-user computing. We cover it all and give you everything that you could possibly need to cover end-user computing. Now, I had mentioned Horizon Air, or our desktop as a service as you may have known it previously. Just to cover the core offerings of Horizon Air, it's broken down into three main areas. First is, of course, your desktop as a service. Then recently, before VMworld, we announced the apps as a service. And with the apps as a service, now we've also included desktop DR as a service. So again, we're now offering, in VMworld, we announced this, that we're offering desktops and a DR or disaster recovery as a service offering for desktops. Now, most people are familiar with doing that for your infrastructure servers, but not from a desktop perspective. So now we're offering it for the desktops as well. Now, take a little closer look at our Horizon Air offering as a whole. As you see, again, broken down to those three areas. First, we have the virtual desktops. Within the virtual desktops, we offer up XP, Windows 7, Windows 8 client operating systems for desktops. But then we also offer Windows Server-based operating systems as desktop, and then they're just skinned to look like a Windows 7 machine. Then for our hosted applications, we're using RDS servers. So again, we offer those RDS hosted applications as well as RDS session based desktops. So depending on how you want to be able to offer up and make your virtual desktops available to your employees, you have your choice in the ways of doing that. And then finally, again, the new offering of the desktop disaster recovery as a service, which is the third option. So let's take a little closer look at the hosted apps. Hosted apps leverage basically remote desktop service hosts, or RDSH servers. They provide you direct access to your applications or desktops via our Horizon client that is available for all your Mac, iOS, and Android-based mobile devices. The benefit is that it offers low cost of ownership while providing high performance experience for your users across many mobile device platforms. So again, access to their desktops and their applications from any device from anywhere at any time. Now, with the Horizon Air DR as a service for your desktops offering, it starts off the offering when you purchase an instance of the desktop DR. It starts off with 50 desktops that are going to be considered hot or always available for you. Then you would need to choose how many total desktops you need. So let's take for an example, company needs 200 desktops. So the first 50 are going to be those hot desktops that are always available. And then the other 150 are going to be in a cold standby state. And it's much like having insurance for desktops. The cold comes in 3 different tier offerings, which we'll talk about in the next slide. Then when a customer has a disaster, they'll call up VMware, they'll declare a DR event, and at that time, those cold desktops will come out of that cold status, they'll spin them up, and then they'll be available to the end users within the appropriate SLA timeframe of those tiers. So let's go ahead and talk about those tiers I've been telling you about. Again, there are 3 different tiers, and this relates directly to how soon those cold standby desktops will become available to the end customer. So the first one here, we have the bronze tier. The bronze tier will provide the availability to those desktops within 72 hours of when the customer declares their DR event. The second tier is the silver, which provides it to them within 24 hours. And finally, the third that makes them available within 8 hours of the DR event. The thought process behind these 3 different tiers is that during a disaster situation, most employees need to take care of their families and their home first before they start worrying about work. So they're not going to need access to desktops right away in a situation like say a hurricane comes through. So as an example, what you might want to do to provide your IT department the gold tier level desktops, because those are available within 8 hours. Obviously your IT department is going to be the first ones at the company to be trying to restore services. They're obviously going to start with making sure that they're going to be getting those servers up and operational and those associated services, and then they're going to start worrying about having desktops that are available. So you may set up out of that 150 that some of them are going to be assigned to the gold tier for your IT administrators. And then after that, maybe management you would put into that silver tier, which gives it to them within 24 hours. And then your standard employees, you might set it at the 72-hour mark. So what this does is it provides DR desktop capability at a very affordable price based on your needs, because you can select the different tier levels, and by having these in a standby, you're not paying for constant on desktops and the associated cost to that. Only those 50 are constantly on, and then the rest are in cold standby. So it's a very effective way to offer a company desktop DR at a very affordable price. Also at VMworld, we announced that we acquired Cloud Volumes, which we have now rebranded to the name of App Volumes. App Volumes offer a way to quickly provision applications to a large number of users in a matter of seconds. You simply create these application containers for your various end users or department needs. Then you assign them to the appropriate users or departments, the app volumes accordingly. So if you look on the left-hand side here, our traditional applications and the way we deal with them, whether you're talking physical or virtual desktops, doesn't matter. But what we do is we have an operating system, and then we install all these applications individually based on the different employees and departments. And when it comes time to either upgrade them or to change them, if somebody moves to a different department, it's not an easy process to be able to do this because they're directly installed onto that OS. So what App Volumes is doing for us is much like what we've done with our compute, networking, and storage stacks. We've abstracted all of that away from, like we did with the hardware layer. We've kind of done the same thing where now with applications, what we've done is we've kind of separated them. If you see here in the middle image, we separate out these application volumes into separate volumes and separate layers to where we can manage them independently. For example, if you look at the graphic on the right-hand side there, let's say that every employee needs applications like Office and Adobe Reader, so that will be the Core Apps volume there on the bottom. Then you see that we have a specialized, which let's say that's the IT department. We have a marketing and finance groups that have their associated applications that they need. Then if you look at that, so if we need to deploy out these applications, what we would do is we would deploy out that Core Apps volume to everybody in the company, because you remember that has our Office and our Adobe associated to it. And then we would selectively apply the app volumes to those particular departments or individuals based on whether they're in finance, whether in marketing, whether in IT. So that way everybody gets those core apps, but then each department gets those individual apps that are specific to them and their needs. Now let's take an example. We have to upgrade, say in that core app, we had Office 2010 in there, but now the company's upgrading to Office 2013. Well, that was very time-consuming and very difficult to do that previously back in that traditional methodology, the way we handled applications. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create another app volume called Core Apps V2, for example, here. We will then apply that to all the employees while taking away the old original core app at the same time. In the matter of seconds, we've now converted them over from 2010 to 2013 in the matter of seconds. So as you can see that from a life cycle management as far as applications, it makes the job much easier, much quicker, saving time and money, both for the individual IT people managing it, but also the company as a whole from a financial aspect. Now that completes the announcements for VMworld regarding end user computing. But now what I'd like to do is cover one last thing with you. You're watching this particular video right now. This is one of the ways that tech data that we enable you on VMworld announcements, as well as any updated product versions or new product releases, whatever it may be. So what we've done is we've made it easier so that if you're interested in attending or watching more of these VMware enablement sessions like the one you just watched just now, we made it a little bit easier for you to stay enabled. And it takes two simple steps to do this. The first step is go out to the registration link you see there below. Fill in your name, your email, what your role is, whether it be sales, technical sales, or engineering and architect. Then select either one, two, or maybe all three of the different levels of sessions that you see there that you're interested in getting enabled on. As you see, the 101 level is sales, product, packaging, and licensing. 201 level covers technical sales, product positioning, and updates. And finally, the 301 sessions are for engineers, and that we talk about technical deep dives, and we also do actual demos. Then finally, the second step is to simply go out to the calendar link that you see there, and see what upcoming training sessions are going to be available, so then that way you can kind of get yourself a heads up of what enablement sessions are coming up and the ones that you're interested in. But then again, when you register, we're also going to be emailing you and letting you know about the upcoming enablement sessions as well. So in the calendar, you'll also see some weekly recaps that I'll put in there to where we will point to previous recorded sessions just to bring them to your attention, so that if you missed them previously, just to kind of bring them to light and just to remind you that, hey, these are out there as well. So again, this is for you to become more enabled and to make the process easier, to make sure that you stay in touch and that you can continue to stay enabled and keep apprised of all the changes in VMware products. Like I said, whether it be new announcements, whether it be updated versions or whatever. So keep this in mind, and go ahead and go out and get registered, and keep an eye on our calendar for any updated sessions. As you see, we'll have the third of the VMworld recap series next month as well. So you'll see that out there, as well as all of our other sessions. So with that, I'd like to thank everybody for taking the time to watch this. If you have any additional questions about registering or about the material that I covered in this session, feel free to either reach out to either your sales or technical representative at Tech Data.